let me sort of answer this two ways. I mean, one is I don't think one can understand philanthropy and its role and its impact across the country, if not across the world, but clearly across the country, without taking a deep dive into the history of Michigan. And Kreskin, and the list goes on of the great sort of industrial time of America and the building of wealth and the way in which that became a part of this world of philanthropy. It's just huge and cannot be ignored. So I think on the one hand, if one were to take a pilgrimage somewhere to say, well, where do the ideas of philanthropy come from, institutional philanthropy, innovation in philanthropy, and so on, you'd have to go to Michigan. Now, some could argue some other places to be sure, but you'd have to go to Michigan. That's one take. But the other is, and I guess, Kathy, I'd use maybe it's sort of the rock in the pond metaphor or something, but because of the influence of philanthropy in Michigan, the ripple effect that's taken place, and then I use a place like Arizona. We grew as the wild woolly West. It's the great Southwest. We had at one time more, cattle and cotton farms than we did people. Well, how one thinks about philanthropy, how it's organized, what are the lessons learned, what are the failures. I can tell you that generically the world of Michigan philanthropy has been enormously informative and helpful in that way. And certainly, some of our history in our case, it's been rather profound. And I would say it transcends just the longstanding work we had for at least a decade with Kellogg, and we can get more into that. But it was also what else was happening. And I think, for example, of the Youth in Philanthropy work around Michigan, the creation of the YIP program. I think I've got the name right, the Youth in Philanthropy, the role of the council, the Michigan Council of Nonprofits. I mean, you can't almost uncouple one element of the nonprofit philanthropic sector from another. They're inextricably linked. And Michigan's had a history of leadership across all of that, which I think has helped inform many, many other parts of the country, and to be sure the Southwest. I mean, there's just from where my world, there's no question about that. So I just think of it two ways. One, history, deep, vertical philanthropy, deep in the ethic and the DNA of the Michigan world. But then secondly, what has helped to inform and transfer ideas and so on out across this world.